Support for this episode of PBS Reno Arts is provided by the Nevada Arts Council. Arts and creativity make us stronger, fueling innovation, prosperity, and thriving communities across Nevada. They boost our economy, promote well-being, and enhance education, empowering Nevadans of all ages. The Nevada Arts Council nurtures these essential creative forces. Together, let's elevate the arts in every corner of our great state. More at nvartscouncil.org.
This is PBS Reno Arts. I'm Dave Santina in the studio of PBS Reno in Reno, Nevada. And this podcast is posting on Monday, September 8th. And 3 days from now will be the 4th annual Reno-Tahoe International Art Show. And I am lucky to have Briana Dolan and Kevin O'Keefe here to talk about it. Thank you both for coming.
Thanks for having us, Dave.
I appreciate you being here, and especially now. As we record this, it's a little bit early. It's only the 2nd of September, but when this is audible for people listening, you're going to be up to your eyeballs in getting ready for this thing. And so it's only a few days ahead of that, but how is it going so far in prepping?
It's going great. We're really excited. We can't even believe it's the 4th year.
It's fast 4 years, right?
Yes.
It's like graduating from high school.
I
You're
know.
Wait a minute, I was just a freshman. How am I out of here? 4 years later, here you are.
We've almost been in every single hall at the convention center. So then maybe once we hit them all, we can finally graduate.
Yeah, and this year I've done a bit of prep. I've been reading a little bit about this year. You've got a huge hall this year, the 70,000 square foot hall 4, they call it, right?
Yeah,
and that's got what is the advantage other than size of being in that space? Are there other amenities there?
Yes. So Hall 4 is great because it has its own food court or food place.
Yeah.
It's a little cafe within the hall, which we've never had before. So that's wonderful. And it's kind of it feels like a different part of the convention center almost because it's at the very back. But this is to our advantage in some ways because once you walk in, you're in like a totally different world. You're entering the world of RTIA.
Yeah.
So then you never have to leave.
It's like a theme park. You guys, all you need is some rides next. Maybe that'll come next year.
Oh man.
I was looking at the floor plan that I found on the website, and it fills up the entire space, and there's not all that much space in between. So you guys just keep growing. And growing, and every year it seems like there's more going on. And this year, we were just chatting on the way in. You're just getting some delivery of some Burning Man sculptures, which I mean this ended a day or two ago, and here they are moving across to come and be a part of the show. That's really exciting.
Yep, I think we're expecting 20.
Wow.
20 pieces.
And it's really unique because this is the only place in the country you'd be able to go to an art show and see major sculpture of any kind like this. And so we're able to bring these in because of the timing with Burning Man, but also we're able to bring them in because this building that we have, the convention center, which is a very nice place, is not union. So as a result, we can bring 20-foot high by 50-foot long by 20,000-pound pieces in, which, for running shows all over the world, you don't do that very easily in New York City or in Miami or in Chicago.
That's interesting. So. That's an element I had never considered. So when you're in a place like Chicago or LA or Miami or New York, you are limited by the specs of the sort of the union contract.
So what happens with the larger convention centers in some of these bigger cities is that they're all very stringent unions. So there's riggers and there's teamsters. From the very time that they built them in the beginning, they made a federal law to have that kind of a thing. And so now what happens is they charge by the pound. So, for example, they'll bring in one bronze sculpture from, say, Paris, and it'll cost $8,000 or $9,000 to get it here by air freight.
Okay.
But if they want to bring it in to the building, and that comes in with a forklift truck, and it's dropped down off a truck, that one motion in New York is $25,000.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's impossibly expensive. Same in Miami, same in Chicago, same in Los Angeles. So what we have here with Reno, we've got a 600,000-foot building, which is not used that often, which has no unions, and as a result, we're able to bring in some colossal art, and we're able to do it at a rate that allows these people to come in and be very successful there commercially. So, not just for the sculpture, we have a 400-foot sculpture walk. We also have galleries coming from all over the world who are amazed to see that they're able to come to one of the most elegant shows in the whole world. And they're like, it's in Reno. and they come and they're amazed by it. And it's well, if you've seen the video of the show now,
Yes.
every year it becomes more elegant and more beautiful and more comprehensive. I mean, we have so many features from everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I noticed, locally, quite a few artists from here are a part of it. It's a huge lineup. For those of you who are listening who watch Artifacts on PBS Reno, there are many artists who are Artifacts artists from years gone by. Just a few: Nicole King, Frances Melhop, Zoe Bray, and the opening night, Juliette Leung is playing and maybe skating. I don't know, but she's opening up on the VIP preview night, which is a nice night because that is introducing the Ford Goodman's for the Song Charitable Fund. Ford was a guest on the podcast not too long ago, and that's being introduced by PBS Reno's very own Kurt Misha, the president and CEO. So there's a nice connection from PBS Reno to the RTIA, and I'm excited for people who have been maybe viewers of Artifacts or maybe even listen to this podcast before to come out and see the work that some of these artists who they're local in proximity only in terms of their talent. They're world-class talent.
Yeah, it's the RTIA show is the way that it's designed, the way it was created by Briana is totally unique in the world. So it's very community facing, and so we first worked directly with a curated group of artists from here. We started with them, and then we added in galleries from all over the world. Then we added in First Nations. So outside of Santa Fe, we have the biggest Native American presence of anywhere in the United States.
Impressive.
And so they come from everywhere, where we do as much as we can to enhance their ability to meet with collectors and buyers. And then we talked earlier about the sculpture walk, but we also work very closely with UNR, where they put together this whole Bosque feature, which is totally amazing. Now they're bringing in museums and artists from Spain, from Bilbao and from Pamplona, which you never see anywhere in the United States. And it's called out, and it's actually very impressive to see that. We also have the live music, which classical musicians come out, and they paired violins and grand pianos, and it's just a very unique experience throughout. And the overall package of independence and galleries and studios and sculpture and Native American art and all of the community engagement makes it totally unique in the whole country.
Yeah, it's unlike anything else. And for people who have not been, who this might seem overwhelming, the sheer amount of possibility. So if you were to meet somebody, elevator pitch them about the event, how would you recommend they approach coming to the RTIA as someone who maybe doesn't know where to start?
Well, I think that the biggest sell that this has to audience, to collectors and buyers, is that if you go to these 3 or 4 other big shows in the country, those galleries that are in Miami or Chicago or New York are the same ones with the same artists. So it gets very repetitive. What happens here is now you're going to be able to see 3,000 or 4,000 pieces of art from $500 to $5 million. And so it is this whole breadth of experience that people can come in and enjoy and be welcomed. You're not judged as you come into RTA, and you are in other places. I mean, they make a judgment about, is this really a buyer or what? But in our case, we want them all to come. We want them to enjoy the art. We're very happy when they're buying the art, but they don't have to. They can come and just enjoy the music and the drama and the film and just experience all of that, which is close on 100,000 feet of art. And in this particular presentation was very thoughtful in that last year we had made a show that was bigger, but it was more sprawling, and I think it intimidated people. Coming like, how am I ever going to get through this?
Yeah.
And so now we've compressed it and we've made it better and more curated. So when you come into this event, it's going to really impress. I mean, there's no part of it that's not pretty impressive.
Right.
Well, I also think it's important to mention because we're talking about inclusivity and feeling welcome and all those things and how different it is from other events, and that goes a long way because I think fine art, like that label right there, you lose half the people.
Oh, people are intimidated and they'll shy away. And I think that the message is important about don't be afraid to come and just explore and don't worry about being judged, because I'll liken it a little bit to a Philharmonic performance, right? There are people who are a little bit intimidated with classical music, they don't know, oh, I shouldn't go because I don't know enough about it. And there's nothing to that. You can show up and know nothing and then just enjoy it.
Totally. And there's something really for everyone, like of all ages. This year we made a point to do a little bit more for the kids.
Oh, good.
Everyone's always welcome to, climb on the Burning Man pieces, and we had a wall that you can draw on, but this year there's actually classes for kids that they can sign up for,
nice.
workshops. And we've actually designed all of our talks and workshops so that's a registration process. So we've got everything from art crime by an FBI agent
from
Lake Tahoe.
I did see
Dave
that.
Powers. And,
that's fascinating.
Yeah, super fascinating. To art appraisal and interior design, which we've had before, but this is a different view to it. But all these different talks, and then specifically for the kids, it's like dance classes and also art classes. And so we're bringing in, again, more of that community aspect, but also giving families a chance to bring the whole crew and then, leave the kids to do something fun while they have a chance to explore on their own.
Yeah, that's a great plan. And I made a note to ask you about this because one of the things on the website was a reference to how you're incorporating this year, things you learned over the last 3 years. And I assume that every year you come away a little bit smarter with a little bit better plan. So what kind of things do you take from previous years or from other events? I'm sure, like a lot of us, I like stealing good ideas from other places. I imagine you do the same. Where do you find these tidbits and these nuggets of wisdom from the previous years and implement them?
No, it's actually a great point from the other events comment, because of course we always have a feedback survey that we give to everybody, so we understand what people have to say, and usually what they have to say is when they're complaining.
Of course, people are much louder when they're unhappy.
Yes.
They're not going to make as big of an effort to say, by the way, everything was awesome. But they're going to say, hey, there's one thing that really bugged me, because somehow that means more to people.
Right. But that is helpful. And so every year we've incorporated that feedback from year one on, because it's also stuff that we might not have noticed,
Yeah.
So that's part of it. And then, of course, we do notice things, and we're constantly like, okay, we got to take a note for this from last year. But going to events and especially other art fairs, other art events, it's really been a great experience for us as attendees to watch other attendees, because we're not attendees at our event.
Right.
So we don't really have the eyes for it during ours, during the Reno show. But walking through any other art event, and we're watching other people, we're hearing what they're saying, we're noticing what they're liking, what they're not liking. And so much of it is just people just want to enjoy themselves.
Right.
That's number one. You're going in, and there's a lot you can gain from an experience like this, whether it's just chatting with a super interesting person or artist, or finding something that you didn't know that you liked before. But really, it's just being comfortable and having an opportunity to wander at your own pace and just enjoy the time. And so we've kept that in mind, especially for just like the way that the event flows, the scheduling, the layout. Of course, there's always room for improvement because you are within four walls and a lot of concrete.
Even when they're huge walls.
Yes. But we try to think about that from an attendee perspective, because of course, exhibitors are number one, but they want the attendee to be happy, because then everyone's happy.
Yeah, of course, right. That works best for them. So when you started this, it seems like a long time ago now, right? Not a long time ago, but a long time ago, 4 years. What was your goal originally? What motivated it from the beginning?
It's always been the same vision, which has been great to kind of have that core messaging, and it's been the same since before we even had a thought to do an art fair. And we started with the gallery. So we had a pop-up gallery that was it started as an online gallery and then became a physical pop-up gallery on South Virginia. And all the while, it was just these seedlings of ideas. But I think we were new to Reno. But we were committed to Reno from the beginning. My husband grew up here, but once we arrived in the middle of the pandemic, it was home. So we came, and when we found that this place there's a great slogan that we have for this show that's been so appropriate. It keeps coming up. Reno, who knew? It's just such a surprising place, and
the people here knew. It's who else knew? Yeah.
But even the people that live here and have lived here all their lives, there's stuff that it's just these surprising nuggets of people, of interesting things that make this place so uniquely Reno, and by extension Reno-Tahoe. But from the beginning, we really had this vision of kind of rebranding Reno, because coming from New York, coming from a very uppity design and trade show background, there's opinions that are in stone, it feels like.
Yeah.
But much can change by anchoring a really cool something. And great examples are Austin, Texas, South by Southwest. It's completely redefined it's completely defined that town from the beginning. Miami, all of the art shows in Miami have made that city what it is. So not to put ourselves quite in the same shoes because we're still quite young, but the same idea. I mean, to be able to create something that really has reach, it snowballs into something bigger. And so our vision from the beginning has been to place Reno-Tahoe on a national stage to be recognized as an arts and culture center.
Nice.
Which we believe and have believed from the beginning it already is. So it's just about kind of solidifying that, sharing
Reveal
that.
it
Yes.
to everybody.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, that was the goal. Now, 4 years later, how has it lived up to your expectations?
Well, what's actually pretty amazing is that within a very short time, we went from listening to all these people we spoke to about Reno 911 and how Reno is right next to Las Vegas and it's like some small odd suburb there where it was. And we listened to all that because we didn't really know how Reno was perceived until we were out working on all these big shows.
Yep.
And they were like, why would you do a fine art show there? And so it went from that to now we go around and we're recognized and they want to stop us and say, well, what about that show? And so we've gained great credibility. And people also say, well, it's pretty amazing that show started and then it went out to 200,000 feet. It was just really scaling. And you have to be careful because you don't want to build your exhibition beyond your attendance, because it's very easy to get a show so big that, you can't support it with enough people, and so you want to keep matching that communication. It takes a while for people to recognize that it's there and what it is and how. But now, as we're coming into the fourth year, it is really amazing to see. Even last year, last year we had 22 states and 9 countries at a time when the whole city was closed.
Yeah,
there was 10,000 acres burning, and that was being evacuated out of our house. They said they were going to shut the convention center down. They're closing all of the roads down from Tahoe, and the airport's closed, and we still had 3,500 people come. And we had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of art sold, and which kind of startled me because I was like, how can this even be happening? It's because they were determined to come because they knew that if you're a collector or a buyer, you really need to go to that one show because there's no duplication, and you're going to see stuff that you won't see anywhere else in the whole world because we are not just having galleries only. We allow the independents to come. Now, Bree curates them, and so when you go through the show, you're not seeing anything that shouldn't be there. So, but the fact that you can see independents and you can see Native Americans, all these different complexities that were not in any other show.
Yeah,
collectors like, well, I just want to see that because every time I go, and then they're amazed by all this other stuff that's happening with film and with singing and now we've got interpretive dancing that's going to take place in front of these. It's pretty amazing what's going to happen now. And we should tell you some of the things that are happening.
Tell me about the interpretive dancing.
I'm actually really excited about this too.
It's never been done anywhere in the world. Period.
Well, I don't know about that. It's possible, but
not at
as
an
far
art
as
show.
we know.
As far as we know,
That's
at an art show.
Fair qualification. All right, now you can pretend that no one's ever done it. Just tell me about it.
So this is part of our wider partnership with UNR. So we work with a bunch of different departments within the university, and TMCC too, but specifically UNR is Beyond the Basque feature and the Basque Research Department. We work with the dance and theater group and obviously the music. We'll have the marching band coming again.
Nice.
Very excited about that. But for the dance, we talked about this a little bit last year, but it has manifested into becoming a sort of a improvisation dance where a couple of so it's instructor Carrie Cunningham and a number of her faculty and students she's inviting are going to be selecting specific art pieces or booths and a couple of Burning Man pieces, and they're going to be followed by a violinist. Claire Tapman is going to be following them and providing a little bit of background music, and they're just going to be inspired by the art and create a totally new dance piece.
Oh, That's fun.
Yeah, right there
I
in the
love
booth.
that. And
Yeah,
what day of the event will that be?
So they're doing it VIP night, and I believe Saturday as well.
Okay, so Thursday and Saturday.
Correct.
So again, if those this is not radio, so you wouldn't have just joined us, but just in case somehow you missed it at the beginning, Thursday the 11th through Sunday the 14th at the Convention Center, Reno-Sparks Convention Center. Kevin mentioned you curating a lot of the artists. How do you choose who's coming? Where do you make decisions? That's got to be difficult.
It is difficult, but the truth is we really don't turn anyone away. Because we haven't really needed to.
Oh, good.
There's been cases where we encourage individuals to maybe consider other kinds of events, like craft fairs or something that's more appropriate to their work.
I could see that, yeah.
But when someone's submitting fine art, usually we find a place that's going to make sense, and we're lucky because we have this foundational Heart of Reno feature, which is been called Heart of Reno from the beginning, and it's really where we're placing everyone from the region, independent artists, and so it's a different feel of walls, different configuration, different pathway through it. That's kind of its unique little island within the hall, but it's also it kind of allows for a lot of different things, and so we have a lot of jewelers there, 3D work alongside 2D of all kinds. We had like AI stuff come last year too. I don't know if we have any this year, but just really wide variety. And
Nice.
The point of that is just to be able to show the wide breadth of talent that's here. And so that's really been the main goal, is to be able to position the various exhibitors in a way that will show off their work in the best possible way.
Yeah, I would encourage anybody who's listening, is interested, go to the website and take a look at the map, the layout, because it's color coded. And
It's very colorful.
I'm going to give you one guess that what color Heart of Reno is. If you didn't say red, you're wrong. But just looking at it, it's very well laid out and clearly marked. And so anyone who takes a map, and I'm sure there are probably maps available there, but you can take a look at what sections to go visit and make plan your visit accordingly. You can plan your route, because I'm sure that there are people who go straight to the bespoke furniture and go straight to the First Nation stuff, and that's their favorite, and then they maybe spend the most time at their preferred location, but then they have this wonderful option to go anywhere else and see all this different kind of art. It's kind of like a little wonderland for art lovers, and that's whether or not you are a buyer or a collector. Just being able to go and enjoy it all, it's in one place. The breadth of it is really impressive. So I'm looking forward to seeing it this year myself. I wanted to follow up about one other question that occurred to me while we were talking about it. You have to have a whole bunch of people helping make this happen. Do you use community help? How do you? Who's helping? Are there volunteers? Who's manning the positions all around?
We work with a number of different teams.
Okay.
So we have one group that sets up the large walls. So we rent the 10-foot walls. They're coming out of Michigan. So it's a whole whole enterprise. So we have a team that takes care of that. Grand Artique.
Okay.
It's a family that
Nice.
has been extended and hired for the job. And then we have another team that takes care of the 8-foot walls, which are the Heart of Reno walls. And then I also hire a team of a mix of volunteers and staff, primarily from UNR and TMCC. Just anyone who wants to be involved, kind of open call. PBS Reno is quite helpful and putting the word out there also. So we
shameless self-promotion.
very helpful.
Sort of. I didn't say it, but indirectly.
We also have this year actually is our biggest showcase of student art. And again, this goes back to sort of the community engagement.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we had it the first year, but we had the last 2 years when we were showing elementary school through high school art. So it was kind of the next step beyond the university involvement that we were already working with. But we just really wanted to be able to infuse this kind of experience for young talent. Because yes, you get art in schools, but it's limited, and you don't really see like where it could go. So to be
Right.
able to have that vision of hanging your work in a professional setting, and seeing it hanging in a professional setting and walking around with a badge that says exhibitor is a huge deal for our young student, especially from like elementary school kids. But
for sure.
Especially when I think it's being sold, because a number of those pieces were sold by high school kids, and some of them are actually quite extraordinary.
Yeah, they are awesome. So I think this year we have 10 schools.
Nice.
So that includes mostly high schools and a few elementary schools. And one of the high schools, Bishop Minogue High School, a lot of those kids will volunteer too, which is nice.
good.
So beyond the work hanging. And Our Lady of the Snows kids will be playing piano as well this year.
Oh, nice.
In addition to that.
I love it.
And what's great about the hanging art is we run this awards program called Best of Show. And in the past, we've had 2 segments where it's been regional awards and Best of Show. And Best of Show is a on-site by popular vote kind of tally where all the exhibitors can vote, anyone who comes through can vote, 1 per category. Okay. And so student work is one of those categories. And if you win, you get a $1,500 credit for the following show for a booth and this incredible physical award, which is designed and fabricated by Ted Demolsky, who's a local artist. And he has done such an amazing job. This year it's super cool. I think I might have to keep one myself, but it's like
they're really nice.
It's a concrete and glass art piece that lights up.
Wow!
And like it's engraved with the RTIA show. It looks so cool. So it's a pretty big deal to win one of those. And this year we were lucky to kind of redirect the regional awards. Instead of doing that, we've refocused the sponsorship dollars that come from the Nevada Arts Council to sponsor. I think it's 28 booths. For all Nevada artists. So it's 50% coming from outside of Reno-Tahoe and the 50% coming from Reno-Tahoe. So that has been really cool to see the enthusiasm. We were completely filled within 2 days.
That's incredible.
As soon as those applications open. So there's definitely a need for it.
I love it.
It's nice to see that come to fruition.
So do you have all the people you need to help now, or do you need any more bodies?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Actually, we had so many people come to with interest in being part of the staff. I had to turn people away, which has never happened before, but it was awesome.
It's a good problem. Good problem to have.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. So what have you not done yet that you're looking forward to for future shows?
Well, I think there's a few things we're trying new this year that we'll see how it goes, and then we can decide what we want to do with that. But for example, we're having 4 murals created on site this year.
Wow. Okay.
So that's fun and different. And those murals. So we had an application for muralists to come and take part in this, and afterwards, after the show, we're bringing those murals to the airport, and so they're going to actually live at the entrance of the airport for the rest of September. So that was a cool tie-in. The airport's been very supportive of the show from the beginning, so it was really nice to kind of make. And plus, we share almost the same acronym.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, the other RTIA.
Yes, exactly. So
That's cool.
So it should be really interesting to see what the on-site mural feels like, and because especially here in Reno, obviously murals are everywhere, and then public art is a huge part of what makes Reno.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's nice to be able to highlight that specifically at the show. But what haven't we done?
Well, the other thing that I think needs to be expanded is, we're just getting into this bespoke furniture thing.
Right.
And so there are so many really great furniture designers who are dragging all of the fallen trees out of the Sierra, and they cut them horizontally right in the forest, and they bring those slabs back and they create some beautiful pieces. And so we actually have several very big exhibits at the show who are the top bespoke guys. And that, I think, needs to be expanded. And it's something that, when I was doing the International Contemporary Furniture Fair, which is the top design event in the Americas, I was fully engaged with all of that. It was just really nice to be able to bring that kind of art in, because that's functional art, where you get a table that is one of a kind.
Yeah.
So your typical table, if you're going to buy one, it's $300 or $400. But for $5,000 or $6,000, you have something that people come into your house and say, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
They take pictures of it, and so
Right.
and so that's an entire category which really can't be developed in this country, because we're back to the same problem with how much does that table weigh? Well,
Right.
that's 3,000 pounds. Oh, okay. Well, that's $20,000 to bring it in. None of those costs exist here.
Yeah.
And so they can come in and they can present, and they can do it very economically, and they can do very well commercially. And so that's something that we should develop. And I also like to see more things coming in from Europe, because it's something about, if you can do a European features and Reno, it just adds more to our dignitas, where now your collectors can say, you got to go to that show. If we go to any show, that's where we're going. And so when we talk to people about 8 or 9 countries or 10 countries coming, people traveling to come to this show, people, it can't be possible. So we'll show you who they are. That's really startling, to be able to do that. And more of that, I think, is the future. And so we've changed the way that Reno is viewed. Definitely in the art world accepts that Reno-Tahoe is an art center. We don't know how it is, but it is. And so then they just have to recognize that it is. And eyes are on us to continue to develop it. So it is. It's been a difficult process. And certainly when we first started it, there was massive pushback. But people were just not accepting. You cannot do a fine art show in Reno. And now they're like, well, what about that show in Reno?
Right.
So
and only in 4 years you've reached that point. And I mean, I don't know anything about the world we're talking about, except to say that doesn't seem like very long to have established that kind of reputation.
These other shows have been running 70, 80 years, and they're cut in stone. This is where you go. And to have people come in to this place to see this show. But it's welcoming and it's elegant, and it is so diverse that. And every year is totally different. And I think that for the collector, because I'm always been about the audience. I mean, if you can present to your audience the wealthy people that want to buy art for their homes, and they'll come out of their way to come to Reno, which is not an easy place to get to.
Right.
Then if they do that, they're coming in determined to buy things, and they do. And that changes the way that we're viewed, and we've done that.
Well, so far, so amazing. I hope you probably have some pride in what you've accomplished already, but still looking forward to what's coming next. Exciting.
It will continue to evolve and grow.
Beautiful.
It currently is the fastest growing fine arts show in the country.
Yeah. Well, you're going to run out of space at this rate. We're going to have to take up more of the convention center, multiple halls. That'll be great. All right. Before I wrap up, anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to make sure people know about?
I think just maybe I'll reiterate the great lineup of talks and workshops that we have going on, and that schedule's on our website, rtiashow.com, which has links to register for these things. So you do need to be registered to go. No one's going to kick you out if you don't register, but it would be nice to know who's coming for each of those talks. And I think everything else we pretty much covered.
Well, just one other side note is that, with that art crime, with the FBI getting involved, one of our biggest exhibitors actually had this, it was like a movie. So Winslavin out of Beverly Hills, this guy does beautiful sculpture, $1 million a piece. And they came into his place in Anaheim, and they took the 3 most valuable pieces.
Oh, no.
It was very, very well timed, and they shut up all the power. And it was, getting it to a collector who didn't want to pay for it.
Oh,
and it was a whole team that was put together, and so the FBI actually is very interested in things like this.
Wow!
So it does happen.
I'm extra interested now. I want to come to this talk. I got to register. This is great. Yeah. That was a good pitch. You just made it sound like a little. You did a little movie in my head. And now I want to know the details. All right, beautiful. Well, that's fascinating, and probably not many art shows around the world, including talks about art fraud, art theft, that kind of thing, with an FBI agent telling you all about it. That's unique. One more feather in your cap. Well done. Okay. Well, thank you both for giving me the time. I appreciate it. Before we take off here, I want to remind everybody who's listening to watch Artifacts on PBS Reno. That's through the broadcast, the stream, pbsreno.org, or the PBS Reno YouTube channel, or the PBS app. Also, you can read art views, the columns, at pbsreno.org. Now, also, if you have a question or maybe a comment or a suggestion, please, if you do, send them to me at podcasts@pbsreno.org. My thanks to Briana Dolan, Kevin O'Keefe, and thank you for listening to PBS Reno Arts.
Support for this episode of PBS Reno Arts is provided by the Nevada Arts Council. Arts and creativity make us stronger, fueling innovation, prosperity, and thriving communities across Nevada. They boost our economy, promote well-being, and enhance education, empowering Nevadans of all ages. The Nevada Arts Council nurtures these essential creative forces. Together, let's elevate the arts in every corner of our great state. More at nvartscouncil.org.